All right. Well, this is our second annual vision and goal setting party. We are so happy that you guys are here. The first thing that we like to get started with is talking about our vision board. And you guys, this is such an important part of the process. It's a part that when I was doing my goal setting, honestly, back in college, I even had a little vision board back then. Now, I have not had one all of my life in the last 20 years, but I just started doing the vision board again. Actually, 2 years ago was my first year. And there's power in seeing those goals up. It does not have to be fancy, it does not have to be anything perfect. It is for you to clarify what those goals are and to use it to focus on it throughout the year. So if I didn't have that vision board up in front of me, so on my desk at work, I have one that is created and I actually have 2 years ago still at my office at work. And it just keeps me focused, even at the office, of, okay, these are my goals. Like, this is what I'm after. These are the things that are important to me. And then at home, I have it in my office. So we put it someplace that we can really arrange images and different quotes and things that inspires you. So you can see a little example here. And if I wasn't out of town, I would totally show you mine. Tanya, do you have yours handy or no?
No, and I actually do like a digital thing. So I don't
Oh,
have
yeah.
like a big board. I went really simplistic and I
Yeah.
believe it's on like my desktop computer at my job.
Yeah,
But it was very simple. It wasn't elaborate, but it was really about very specific goals that I wanted. But
exactly. And
I
that's,
looked online.
yeah, that's how mine is too. And I'm a scrapbooker. I love crafty things. And so, you can get crafty with it or you can be as simple as possible. We even have like this really neat, I'm actually going to drop this in the group either later today or tomorrow. It is a little dream board PDF that you can print it out and handwrite and fill it in, or you can do it digitally, but there's lots of different ways. That you can do that. So keep it wherever you want, that you can see it, that you are going to be inspired. A lot of people do these and even put it as your screensaver on your phone so that the first thing that you see is the things that you want, you're working towards. So
And
um,
the oh
I thought maybe somebody was trying to hop in the meeting, but I don't think so. So
Erica has a question. Is the one on the slide yours, Christy?
no, it is not. However, mine looks more crafty like that, but please
Yeah.
don't feel like you have to do something like that. I love paper. I love pens. I love glitter. Like, I love all of those things. So I actually sit down for an hour or two after I've written out my goals and done stuff and put those top things. Like, I really want our family to have an RV and travel the country. My husband and I talked about that last year. So I have a picture of an RV on ours. Now, we don't have an RV. I didn't get an RV last year, but that's one of our dreams to have later. So that's like the kind of thing that you would pop on there. And so I just went to Google, Googled RV and printed out a picture of an RV. But if you're doing it digital, you could just write RV. Like, you don't have to have a picture of stuff.
I found Google Images and then I would put Google Images together.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to mention to people, in case you're wondering, Christy's going to drop it in the group. The group where all this is in is our free group. It's a sneak peek group of our new program, but we're also putting in other free stuff like this in that group. So if you're not in that group and you need to be in there, just like DM whoever invited you into this call. We're running this with a couple other coaches who have probably invited you as well. So just DM whoever and we'll get you on in that group if you want the free resources.
Yes, for sure. And this vision board you will find there, and you will also find a lot of other resources. We're going to upload some other things in the weeks to come. So stay tuned for all of that as well. Let's see. Oh, I love this. We should have had this up there, but you owe it to yourself to become everything you've ever dreamed big about, you guys. Like, that's one of the things that I think for me personally is not realizing that dreaming big was okay. Like, putting that RV up on my dream board or vision board last year, it was okay for me to do that. and to work towards that and to save towards that. So to me, that was my big dream last year. So, all right, Tanya.
This really excites me because you guys, for some reason, so many of us get to this place when we're young that we dream. And then we get to this age in adulthood where a lot of us just start surviving. You know, we start kind of going through the motions. And so I truly want you to take a moment, and whether you're using plain old notebook paper, which is totally fine, go grab one if you need to, or if you printed off the PDF, I want you to take a moment and think, what brings me joy? What fires you up? What excites you and what makes you smile? And if you're unsure, I want you to really sit and think about it and come back to that. But there's so many things that the world needs a person who's as unique as you. We all have different strengths and we all bring something different to the table. So I really want you to sit and kind of work on this question here. Is it helping other people? Is it spending time with your children and your family? Is it volunteering at an animal shelter or reading to people who are in the, you know, maybe the veterans, you know, whatever it may be, what brings you joy? So use this time to go ahead and take a moment and think about that. What brings you joy? What fires you up? There is no stupid question at all. So everyone's going to answer that question differently, Erica. I know you asked like what comes to mind when you think of like what fires you up. For me personally, I get super excited and fired up when I can connect with other women and help them reach goals. And so that's honestly why I coach. I started off selfishly wanting to get healthy, and then I realized it just was so fun connecting with other women and then seeing them make progress in their health or seeing other women make progress financially. And so that's what really fires me up, is helping people, especially empowering people to like realize like they can do something that they didn't actually think that they could when they have the right tools and the right community in place. Everyone's answer will be different. Some people are going to be fired up by going into, maybe they're a nurse and they go into work and they help save someone's life. I could never do that, but that might be what someone else is fired up by. We have some nurses on the call, so maybe that's what fires them up. But you know, everyone's going to feel a little different. If you're like, I don't know the answer to that question, that's okay. That's what this whole workshop is kind of about, like diving into this and thinking, I've never thought of that before. Maybe I need to really look at my life a little bit and think about this a little bit more, because you guys, it's okay to keep dreaming. We don't have to stop dreaming just because we're not 5 anymore and Disney isn't like the biggest thing on the earth. There's still things out there that we can explore and get excited about. Michelle put, some things she put down was music, sunshine, quiet mornings, helping women re-energize. Yes, being outside energizes me like crazy. I love it. All right. Christy, you want to do the vision exercise? I think you're muted, my dear. Does anybody else want to share what fires them up to kind of help Erica get some ideas? You can go ahead and unmute yourself because we can't see the whole gallery of people if you have any ideas. I think Jen. Did I see your hand go up, Jen? No? I thought I saw you
No,
go.
you did not. And
Well, I
um,
can if you guys want me to.
I mean, power to you if you want to. You don't have to.
I mean, mine are kind of different. A couple, I think this is my third year. I had actually had friends reach out to me. I started crocheting, and I had friends reach out to me and ask me if I would make hats because they do a Christmas dinner every year for the homeless in their community. And they're like, hey, could you throw some hats together and send them to us? We could hand them out. So I've been doing that for 3 years, and it makes me feel so good knowing that, like, yes, the crocheting helps me because it helps me with my anxiety and things and my stress, but then it's also helping somebody else. So that makes me feel really good. And I was a health coach for a different company for 9 years. And I loved just making the women that I helped realize how awesome they are and that they could do it, because so many of them didn't believe it when they walked in the doors. And like that moment when they got it and they realized that they could do it, like that was just fire for me. So
Yeah.
hoping to get back to that level again with a different job now. So
I love that.
Mm-hmm. I love Bree's answer. Leaving things better than the way I found them is what she said. That is so cool.
Oh, that is a great one too.
Yeah, if you can change the energy in a room and change things to a more positive environment, that's a gift.
That
That's
is a gift.
for sure.
Well, hopefully those were a few ideas that could help you, Erica. And if not, we can always chat later too, and we can brainstorm together. But Erica's amazing, just so that you guys know. Like, she and I met several years ago, and she's the bee's knees. All right, let's talk about vision. So you guys, this question a few years ago when I started doing these really scared me. Don't let this scare you. This is to inspire you. This is to make you think at a different level about your life, your overall life. We get one life. And it's like, what do we want that to look like? What is the vision that you see that you want today? But what do you see yourself out in 5 and 10 and 15 years? What do you want to do when you retire? What do you want to do? Seeing the big picture. And I know when I was a kid, like Tanya said earlier, it's so easy to write down like your wants and dreams and stuff when you're younger. And not that I'm saying that people are old on this call, because we've got young people on this call too. But, when I was 18, it was easy for me to be like, oh, I want to go to a trip to the beach, or I want to, I still actually have my vision board that I did back then. But it's funny to look at the things that I wanted, some of them material, which it's fine to have material things. I have an RV on my list now, but part of mine is I wanted to be a mom. I wanted to get married. There were things that are on there that have been accomplished now that it was just a dream when I wrote those. So you got to ask yourself those magic questions. So I love this question, and it's a good one. If you had all the money and all the time in the world, because pretty sure that none of us have all the money and time in the world here, what would you want your life to look like in 2 to 3 years? And you dream big, you guys. Dream big. What would you want your life to look like? For me, one of the things I put down, and this was dreaming big, is I'd like to have my house paid off. Like, I would love to be debt free. I would love to be able to travel and do more with my family. So don't take my dreams and make them yours, but really think about what that would look like. Like, what would you want to do? Where would you go? Who would you go with? Who would you want to help other people? And just really think about that vision. And we're not going to go through all of these and write down every single thing tonight, but just, get the wheels turning and be thinking about those things. And if something immediately pops in your head tonight, just write it to the side and go back and really think about that. Our jobs, what are you doing? Some of us are working. Some of us are working moms. Some of us are stay-at-home moms. Some of us might be out of work right now and looking for a job. So what does that look like right now? And what would you like for it to look like in the future? For me, I have a part-time job that I do my accounting during the day and whatever. And then I have another part-time job of helping other people on their faith and fitness journeys. So for me, that's a really important thing that fills my cup. I love my career, but I also love my second career, which is helping other women. So, think about that. Think about what are your dreams? I mean, I went to school to be a teacher. I do accounting, but I can teach in my faith and fitness community. So I'm filling that goal in another way that I never would have thought when I was getting my education degree. The next thing is like our finances. And when my husband and I actually went through this. So if you're married, I highly encourage you to sit down with your spouse and print out this page for them and let them do this page. And you do this page, do it alone and don't talk about it, and then come back and have a conversation about it. This is something that we did last year, and it was so amazing, you guys, just to sit and talk about our dreams, to talk about the things that we want in our lives. And so for us, that was a big part of our thing. What's on my dream board from last year, and it will be on again this year, is to get our house paid, to be debt free. That's important to me and my husband. We're saving, and we have a set amount of money that just goes into savings. And my second job, actually, that's all that money is used for, is just our pot of savings. So think about all of those things. And, I think it's really important to do. If you're single, do it by yourself. But if you do have a spouse, I do think there's power in getting together with them. Tanya, did you want to talk about your home?
Well, as far as like the vision exercise goes, the next page on this is actually kind of filling in those boxes. There's 4 different categories. So if you were to like scroll up, it says own your future on the next page. And this can kind of give us more of like a hands-on, we can start kind of filling in those boxes a little bit to really kind of get the wheels turning here. Where it says to own your future, write down everything that you see in your mind. Like, how do you feel about your free time and your family and your finances? What does that look like? What does your routine look like? I know I wrote down, for me, I enjoy working and helping people. So even if I had all the money and all the time in the world, I could still see myself working in some kind of capacity for a few hours a day, maybe not full time, but I still really enjoy and get a lot of pride out of helping people in some kind of way. But I also envision my life, us growing our family more than it is already. That's obviously not in my control, but that's something that I would put down on my paper here. And then financially, I would love to be debt free as well. So that's something that I use. I'm a full-time social worker, and I have my second job working towards that. I was talking with someone the other day, and they're just like, yeah, I just don't know how I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. And we sat down and we kind of wrote down, well, how would you do that? Instead of just saying, I don't know, I guess I'm just not gonna, that's just not possible. We sat down and we kind of did something like this. Well, how would you do that? How would you make it possible? Because when you put your mind to something, there's usually some steps to get there. So as far as like family goes, your relationships, if you're in a place where maybe your spouse and you, or maybe you're in a relationship with someone and it's not very good right now, what is your routine needed? What do you need to do with your routine? Maybe your focus isn't on being debt free. Maybe it's on, I really need to prioritize my relationship. From the moment that person walks in the door, I really need to switch things off and give them my undivided attention for, an hour or whatever it may be. Maybe you're not living with someone and maybe you're like, I really want to grow a business. You know, everyone's is going to look a little bit different here, depending on what your priorities are and what your goals are. In my free time, one of my biggest things is really time blocking and making sure I'm very mindful of when I'm working and when I'm not working, and rest, meaning unplugged, just away from work and everything else, away from cleaning, all that stuff, just finding time to be really mindful of just white space rest, you know, like completely unplugged. That's going to be something that's going to be really a big focus for me for 2021. I pick a year or a word each year, and my word this year is actually simplify for 2021, to give people ideas of like how you kind of channel your energy. Last year was action. I really needed to take action. I really needed to be motivated to kind of get the ball rolling. And now experiencing 2020, I realized, okay, one thing I really want to do is still take action, but simplify the process. Oh, I think Erica said something about simplify. Oh, how funny. Yours was simplify.
I love that, Erica.
Yeah. Yes. I have Emily's book, and I was thinking about rereading her book, The Simplified Life. I was actually just thinking about that today and yesterday. I was like, I should probably reread her book again. She has more. I might have to check them out, Erica.
Oh, yeah. She has lots of good books. She has a new one coming out. Yeah, When Less Becomes More was really good.
When Less Becomes More. Thanks, guys. I'm going to write that down. When Less Becomes More.
Emily's books are incredible, because if you are a busy person and a person that does not like to read, her books are simple. They are easy to read, and they are created in a way that it doesn't really feel like a book. It doesn't feel like you're, I'm trying to look at all my books are I'm a book reader, so. Yes, and she's completely relatable, you guys. Like, you can relate to what she's saying and talking about. So
you probably have on Audible as well, as my guess, right?
Simplified Planner Lady. Yes, she is on Audible. So
right now I'm actually listening to a book called The Joy of Missing Out, and it's really about kind of like being very mindful with your time, and very kind of similar to what Emily Lay is about, just simplifying the process so that you can be very focused and put your energy into things, but have energy for your family and energy for your work, instead of feeling like you're always just like going, and then just having nothing left at the end of the day. It's about very much being mindful of that. Let's see. I see some more comments of definitely get less becomes more. Yeah.
Yeah, it was good. I read that one last year, or no, I don't know. She has 3 books and she has a 4th one coming out.
I think that was the one that she released last year.
It was good. Yeah. I actually thought about rereading it this year. That's something that we will do in our group. We will post a post up there tomorrow, and it will be, what have you read that you love and that everybody should read? Because I think that would be incredible for us to just share what we've read, and just make a list of favorite books that would be helpful for that personal development. So, because there are so many great books. So thank you for sharing that, Erica. I just threw that up off the top of my head, but I think we should do that because it would be a great place to just share information.
Or if there's a podcast that you really like. I know I'm very much an audio kind of learner.
Yes. We can do a podcast day too. So let's do a reading day and a podcast day, and everybody can share their faves so that we can, and maybe I'll put a little thing together, and that way people can have it. So, another freebie, but you're going to help us with the freebie. Oh, I have somebody.
It's all about helping each other out. We're in this as much as everyone else.
It is. Okay, somebody's trying to log in here, I think. Maybe not. I thought somebody was in the waiting room, but I guess not. So it's weird when you're sharing your screen, how that works. So Awesome. Well, that's just a little quote that you guys can read. You guys, dreams, writing down those dreams. So one of the things that when I sit and like think about goal setting, right? Like I can write down 100 different things that I would like for things to look like today and in the future and in the days to come. But if I write down 100 things, am I going to be able to make 100 things happen? And I'm not saying that it's not good to have a list. Make your list, and if it's 100 things, that's great. But let's narrow it down to those top 10 goals. So when I did this last year and sat and we separately brainstormed everything, we then came together and talked. We picked some of the dreams that were alike. We picked some of the dreams that were different, and we wrote down some of our own dreams. There was lots of conversation, and there were lots of things for us to discuss and talk about. But we can only do so much and have so many goals to set in a small period of time. And we think, oh, a year's not that short, but it is. A year goes by so quickly. And it truly feels like just yesterday that I was sitting down at that table writing everything down for our first annual party that we had. And so I just encourage you to sit and really think about the things that are most important. And the list before, where it had the 4 areas, at least pick a goal in each of those areas to really focus in on. And if you don't have 10, it doesn't have to be 10. Write down 4, write down 5. But don't write down more than 10, I guess is what we're trying to say. Because if you write down more than 10, I believe you're going to get extremely overwhelmed and you're going to feel like you can't meet any of those goals. And just so like I'm loud and clear, like the goals that we wrote down last year, I'm thinking we did 8. So we chose 8 and we had 8 categories that we chose from, one big goal and then some little goals in between those areas. And not all of those goals were met last year, but we worked little by little to get some of those goals taken care of and to get closer to that goal for maybe next year. So, start with one goal.
And someone messaged me and they said, check out Rachel Hollis, episode 86 from her Rachel Hollis podcast. I'd have to go back and see which one it is. I wonder if I've listened to it. Another tip is if you're like stuck thinking, oh, I don't know what my goals would be, and you're someone like me, I get distracted easily. So doing this on the fly on a call might be a little challenging. This is just to get the wheels turning. But for me, sometimes I have to think, okay, what's going on in my life that I don't like? What am I doing that I want to change? And for me, like some of the things I could think of would be like, I really want to get outside more often. I'm probably sitting around inside way more than I really need to, making it a priority to get out a certain amount of minutes per day to get some sunshine. Another thing might be, I'm really not getting enough sleep. It doesn't have to be these gigantic things. You can start off with little stuff, and then you'll work your way up to thinking about bigger and bigger and bigger. But just thinking about, what do I want to change? What would make me happier? Abigail said, for me, one of them is to be more brave and get outside my comfort zone. Me too, Abigail. Me too. Absolutely.
I love that.
There's a big change coming up in my life that we're planning, and I'm scared and I'm terrified of it. And so like getting the courage to take the action steps to do that is going to be really a big challenge that I'm going to have to have to step into.
But we can make things happen, you guys, even if they're scary. And so many of my goals that I've written down have been super scary goals, and not scary like, but scary like, wow, can we really make that happen? Or, should I even write this on paper? And yes, like you should get it written down on a piece of paper, because once it's there and you're seeing it, you start to visualize it more and you're going to be better able to make it happen. And Tanya talks sometimes and like, oh, well, it's not in my plan. or, it's not up to me. It's not up to us, but there's lots of different ways that we can create those dreams and get to those dreams. It doesn't just have to be, there's not just one path to take. We have lots of different paths that we can take to get to those goals. We just have to figure out which path it is that we're going to take to get there. So that's one of the things that my dad always talks about is The Road Less Traveled by Ralph Waldo Emerson. And if you haven't read that, you need to read it. But I have it hanging up. It's the first thing that I see every morning. It's above my sink. He gave it to me years and years and years ago. And it is like it's okay. And maybe sometimes we do need to take that path that's less traveled, because where are we going to end up? So I wanted to just share a couple quick little like commitment ideas like Tanya was talking about, because I think sometimes like we get boggled down like, oh gosh, what are those goals? What are those dreams? Well, for me, when I just started my wellness journey 5 years ago, my goal was, like Tanya said, I wanted to lose weight. Like that was my goal. The next year I realized, that's not really what my goal was. My goal was I wanted overall wellness. And overall wellness for me meant quiet time in the morning. It meant learning to write down things that I'm grateful for every day. It meant writing down daily affirmations. It meant reading good personal development books. So I really want you guys to think about that, because so many people, they have that goal at the beginning of the year. Oh, I want to lose 10 pounds, or maybe it's more, or maybe it's something else to do body related. But the truth is we need to really think about our overall wellness to get to the place, to get to that goal. And for me, I know that has been so huge, realizing that like a morning routine. I was trying to think, it said commit to a self-care action daily. Create an evening routine, take up gratitude journaling. It could be organizing and decluttering your house, which, you guys, was one of our goals last year. We wrote it down. It was a home goal. We wrote it down and we had action goals every month, and we went through. Is our house perfectly decluttered? No. But my daughter's closet, if you had seen it, oh my gosh, like it's so embarrassing. Like her room, we went through the other daughter's closet, which it's already a disaster too. Unfortunately, that's where the big kids hand-me-downs go, so it turns into a disaster. My closet, our living space, so we took little areas each month. Our garage, that was one of the things. So little by little, we got things done. Is the house perfectly decluttered? No. But I just want y'all to think about those things. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I want to pay off my house. It can be simple things like, oh my gosh, I need to get my house organized. You want to take this one, Tanya?
Sure, in the dig deep portion.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me, a lot of times it just means living whatever your truth is and living whatever brings you joy. And that's okay if not everybody agrees with that. And it's okay if it's not the popular thing to do, for me anyway. And it's okay if it's not going to make everybody around you happy. There's some big decisions that we have coming up where it's going to make someone upset no matter what we decide to choose. But we have to choose whatever is right for our family. And we have to choose what's right for our family, whether I'm kind of speaking on vague terms. It's related to our careers, it's related to our location. And so no matter what we do, it's going to be a little tricky. And so for us, we have to figure out, okay, what's going to make us happy and kind of go with that. And that's going to be different for everybody. I'm seeing other people saying their daughter's closets are super dirty.
I'm telling you guys, like there is power in writing that down on a piece of paper. I know, like for me, when we wrote that goal down, I thought, really, we're going to write down, we're going to clean up our house. But yeah, we did, and we made it happen. So
So, and then thinking, what's the first step you need to take into becoming who you were meant to be or what those goals are? And for us right now, it was getting certain licensures and certificates. So I had to take an exam. My husband's currently studying for an exam. It's getting our house. We're in the middle of home projects to get our home up to date. Um, it's researching and talking with real estate agents. So last year, we've taken some of these steps and we're in the process of some of those things because we sat down and we thought, what do we really want last year? And it's a good thing we did that because this process has taken us at least a year just to get to where we're at now. We're still not at that goal yet, at that change. I'm seeing some messages in here. Jess mentioned, I've made some changes and my mindset has shifted after so much that has happened this year than in years past. Absolutely. You know, this year has been a really hard year, but I feel like this has been a year of growth. And not to discredit anyone that's gone through a lot of hardship and a lot of loss, but if there's anything that you can take from this year, it's to we've really kind of realized even more so, what do we value the most in life? And I think that and just growing and learning about ourselves along this way is huge. How will you stay motivated to accomplish your goal? If I can encourage anything, I would encourage you to get some kind of tracking device, some kind of planner or something that you can track your goal in. I have a specific planner that's very specific to my career where there's a section where I break down my goals per quarter. Like I break it down with these steps, figuring out, okay, what are the action steps I need? And then I break it down like per quarter, and then I break it down per month, and then I break it down per week to kind of create those action steps that I need to take to make it bite-sized pieces. It's kind of like that phrase, like, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? You're not going to look at this huge goal and then just go after the goal. You're going to keep breaking it down smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's kind of like we're just in the processing, brainstorming phase of this goal. And then from there, you can kind of take more action steps. But for me to stay motivated, breaking it down into small, bite-sized, actionable steps where I can check off and be like, heck yes, I did that. Yes, I did that today. Or yes, I did that this month. And if you missed it, being like, you know what? Okay, I'm just going to realign a little bit and I'm going to tackle it again next month or next week or whatever it may be. That's what helps me stay motivated, along with surrounding myself with wonderful, amazing women like yourself who also are goal driven, who also want to have a positive mindset and who are encouraging. It's so easy, you guys, to spend time with toxic people. It's so easy to spend time with people who like to complain. And if you can surround yourself with people who are goal driven and motivated, that's going to help your mindset, because we tend to act like the people that we spend time with most. And if you can spend time with people who are action oriented and excited about life and excited to take goals on, you're going to be more likely to achieve them yourself. For me, anyway. That's my answer. You can think about your answer, whatever that looks like for you.
Yeah, it is super important to surround yourself with positivity. If you have somebody just dumping negativity on you all of the time, it is so easy to just like bring all of that in with you. And then maybe you're feeling negative, and now this person has dumped their negativity on you, and it just builds and builds and builds. And so surrounding yourself with a community of positive people doesn't mean that you're not ever going to have days that you feel like or don't feel great or down or whatever, but it means that you're going to have that community there to help lift you up. And I mean, that's just a really, really great thing.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's okay. I was just going to say, I, like Tanya, break my goals down. So I break them down into the pods of our 8 big goals, and then make them into little goals. And like, I have a big, this month I'm going to do this at least once. this month I'm going to do this at least 4 times. And one of my goals is to get outside with my kids. Like I actually write that down every month. One day a week after school, we're going to get outside and do something. Does it always happen? No. But that's what I'm talking about, the simple goals like that. One of my goals that I have often on my everyday goal is to read to my children. That is important to me. I am a reading specialist. Hello, like I need to be reading to my children, but I don't read to them every day. And it's also just a reminder of the things that matter most to you and what you really want to be focused on. So I do my goals like that as well. And habit trackers are a great way for you to make those goals happen. For me, like I use a really interesting new little planner, but I mean, it even just has the little habit trackers and then you check off as you go. It's simple. You could do it in a notebook. You could, put it in a spiral and put, these are my habits. So, but I have found that tracking stuff like that, like my water, this is always on my habit tracker because I'm not a great water drinker. This is important to my health and wellness. I need to drink more water and I write that down as a goal. It's on my habit tracker. So just, want everybody to see kind of like the big picture.
So this is one that I used to use before I got one that was a little bit more career specific. This one is called the Smart Planner Pro. I just looked it up. It's $24. But it has a monthly option, but in the daily option, it does have habits to make and allows you to list 4 habits that you want to make for the week. And then it has you list your top 3 priorities for the day and then your gratitude. And then it has you do a week in review, your victories, things to improve, and then you can score yourself if you want, based off of like how many habits you were able to check off. It gives you 4 options. But this is a nice option if you're someone where you're like, I make these goals and I don't take any action steps. Using some kind of a habit tracker can be a really nice option. Just give yourself grace. You're not going to be perfect at it. Maybe you just pick one habit at a time or maybe 2. And if you feel like being a rock star, go for all 4 if you want to, but just know that it usually takes a while to kind of ingrain that habit. And sometimes it's best to just choose 1 to 2 at a time. But this is, I think I got this off of Amazon, but like I said, I think it was like $24. So if you're someone that needs a habit tracker, this is awesome. I'm doing a giveaway for a social work one with the Social Work Creative. So if you're a social worker and you want to a planner, I'm doing a giveaway. She's sending me one. Hers are gorgeous. So if you want to take a peek at her Instagram page, the Social Work Creative, that's the one I'm going to be giving away. So yeah.
The planners I use, I'm using Silk and Sonder, which is a little pricier and you get a new planner every month. But I needed something small and it's like a tiny little notebook, but it has habit trackers, sleep trackers, all the mood trackers, habit trackers, monthly habit trackers and weekly habit trackers. So for me, I just needed something a little different. It even has a food tracker and water tracker. So, but it is definitely a little pricier, but you can get a subscription to it. So, and then for my planning, like I will use all of what we've provided to you guys for my brainstorming, and we'll sit and brainstorm with this. And then I use the Make It Happen Planner by Laura Casey. So it breaks down your goals month by month. So you do a year, like these are my goals, and then you break them down month to month. And then she actually has a habit tracker that's part of that and a calendar. So you could even use that as a planner too. So just to share other things that we use.
If you're a digital person, this next part in our presentation is all about creating your morning. So starting like getting up with your day and starting your day with the right foot, whether it's 5 minutes or 10 minutes or an hour. For me, I know if I can start my day productively, if I can start my day with movement, I set the tone for the day. When I don't do that, my whole day is kind of thrown off. So for me, getting in movement right away is really important for me. I know some people are really big on doing a devotional first thing in the morning or gratitude, whatever it may be. depending on your time, we've given you some ideas of some options of things that you can do. A brain dump, if you're like, what is that? That's really just putting down like all of your to-dos, things that you need to accomplish all on one paper, and then organizing it and prioritizing it to make it more tangible, like picking 1 to 2 things each day from that list. But one thing I wanted to mention is if you're a digital person, you can go into your phone and you can set little reminders, and you can always use your phone as like your habit tracker. And then our nutrition programs also can be tracked digitally on phones as well. So if you feel like nutrition, if that's an area that you want to work on, you have options for those things digitally. You don't have to do pen and paper, but Christy and I are very old school.
We are, and you guys, I like to see it on a piece of paper. Like, I like to write it out. I like to envision it. I'm a journaler, but if that's not you, that's not you. So get digital. We know lots of people in our community that use the digital planners, and they're incredible as well. I just like to have my plan.
Whatever you're gonna be consistent with, that's the best option. There is science behind actually writing something down, but if you're not consistent with it because you forget it at home often, maybe the digital option is best for you.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I moved to this little one. I have a big one where I'll do my gratitude and my prayers and my journaling and stuff, and that will stay at home. But this little guy will be my, like, the rest of everything else, all the rest of the things. So
a lot of pen and paper people in here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jen, I like the smell of real books. I'm weird like that.
I do too. I'm trying so hard to read digital, you guys. This last book that I bought, I'm trying to read it digital, and I just love the paper. Like, the smell of the paper, the feel of the paper. I dog ear my books, which probably drives any other reader in this group crazy, but like, that's how I mark my pages. And if there's something that like I love about it, I highlight in my books. But you know, everybody's different. So for the creating your morning routine, for me, that has been so powerful, you guys. And truly, when I started my wellness journey, I was fearful of the mornings. I felt like I needed more sleep. I felt like I needed so many things that I didn't need. Do I need rest? Yes, but I need to get to bed earlier and I need to get up earlier. So I rise before my family, and I get up and I have my morning routine, and many of these things I do. But when I started with one thing, and then I added another thing, and then I added another thing. So, and sometimes my journey is different. That's the other thing. So you have your 10 minutes. Well, maybe one year you're going to do things this way. Well, then the next year you do something totally different. Guys, seasons change. The needs that we have as humans change. So if you write down goals, like right now, maybe your goal is to practice gratitude every day, but then later you realize, well, I really need to do a brain dump every morning so that I'm able to just get everything that's in my head out on a piece of paper. Seasons change, and that's totally okay. So definitely think about that as well. And the same thing with the exercise and stuff, like moving your body. Even if you just move your body 10 minutes a day by stretching or going for a 10-minute walk, getting moving that has really helped me a lot. So
and sometimes with that morning routine, I just wanted to mention, sometimes it's about kind of prepping a little bit the night before to get your morning routine started right. So for me, I actually like to sit down and I like to kind of prioritize what my goals are for the next day, the night before. I like to kind of think about that. So I can go into the day knowing exactly like where my time commitments are. And same thing with my workouts. I like to know which workout I'm doing. I like to go to bed with my workout clothes on because I am like the queen of convenience. If my phone is next to my bed, I will snooze. So I have to put my phone in my bathroom. So I have to walk to it, because a body in motion is more likely to stay in motion versus a body at rest can snooze And like, if I'm in my clothes, I'm more likely to get going. My Energize, my pre-workout is in my bathroom versus in my kitchen, because as soon as I hit my alarm off, I start chugging my pre-workout as soon as my alarm goes off. And while I'm chugging that, I'm getting music playing and splashing. So I have like a routine and system set up. I set it up the night before to make my morning flow and just be easier for me. Because I'm human and I am all about convenience. And if I didn't do some of these things, I wouldn't get my routine done. It would take me 3 hours to get started. You know?
Me too. Or I would never even get started.
Yeah, I wouldn't, because I have to leave for work usually by 6:45, 7 o'clock. So for me to dilly-dally is not really an option.
Yeah. And that's the thing with all of us. Our routines all look different. So
Yep.
what a morning routine for you might look like is just to get up and stretch for 10 minutes. And then the rest of those things, you could pick one or two and do it in the evening. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a morning routine. And in the beginning for me, I felt like it had to be in the morning. And like I was working out and trying to work out in the morning and feeling overwhelmed and all the things. And I realized for me, the beginning of my journey, I wasn't doing anything in the morning. I was coming home after work and I was working out and I was, trying to focus in on my nutrition, and maybe I was doing some reading before I went to bed. And little by little, I made those actions into different times of day that worked best for me. And I still work out in the afternoon sometimes. Sometimes I need an hour of quiet time in the morning and work out later. But most of the time I get moving in the morning, because then sometimes I feel like I get a better workout in the morning personally, but that's just me. I think I'm tired after working all day. I do. I'm tired. I've running around, dropping kids at school, going to work, and I get home and I'm worn out. So I encourage everybody to really sit down, have an hour or two of quiet time to go through what we've talked about tonight. If you have any questions, Tanya and I are here. We're in the group. Maybe we'll even drop a question thing. If you have any questions, drop your question here, because some people are going to have the same question, you guys. So like Tanya said at the beginning, there are no dumb questions. And once you get your visions and goals set, sign this contract. Review those visions and goals daily. If you don't do it daily, you need to at least review it weekly and be really thinking about what you want your life to look. Envision how you want it to be, how you want to feel, and how you want to set your tone for the rest of your life. It's a lifetime change. It's not about just making a quick resolution, you guys. We do not ever use the word resolution, and that's because we don't believe in resolutions. We believe in goals. We believe in visions. We believe that we can do anything that we set our minds to and make it happen. It can be a reality, and it might not happen overnight, but when we work on those goals little by little, day by day, year by year, things are going to change for the better, and you're going to be your best self and you're going to live your best life.
Yeah, and one thing to keep in mind is you might set a goal for this year, but even if you don't attain it, like the path that you take to like grow and become that person that's going after that goal, you're still growing into that person, and you're still growing as you might move it into the next year. And if Christy, if you scroll down, it shows you some action steps on how to really break this down into each month. And then the next part is really kind of working on that vision board. So there's some more action steps after this, but we know that this is really to get that mind kind of thinking about this. A lot of this is going to come sitting down, really kind of looking at what things are going to be for you, because this is very personal to each person. There are some questions in the, let's see. It says, Jess, where do I get the PDF?
Oh, hey, did I not? I thought I emailed or messaged you. It should be in that message thread, but I'll send it to you.
Otherwise, if anyone's in the sneak peek group, there's a couple posts where it's been in the posts as well. Or if you're a current customer or coach of mine, I emailed it out last night with my weekly email. So those people have it that way. So you can check your email if you're one of my customers as well already. But if we just met on Instagram, it's in that sneak peek group or we can send it to you. It's really big, so we couldn't download it as a file. It's 15 pages.
That's too big. So it wouldn't let us put it in the file section of Facebook. It was like, oh my gosh, seriously? It's good content.
And it's beautifully made by our friend Justine, who's the graphic artist of this PDF.
Yes, she did an incredible job. So she put our visions together into this pretty PDF. So we hope that you guys will enjoy it. And we hope that if you guys have friends or family or whoever, coworkers, feel free to add them to that group. You know, feel free. We will upload this recording. We even were talking about the possibility of doing another one of these in January. So we'll see. But you know, invite your friends to that. Share with them. Share with a friend your goal so that they know that you're working towards something big. So
it would be really fun if anybody does their vision board, if they wanted to like post their picture of it in the sneak peek group.
oh, that's a great idea.
Wanted
Great
idea. Katisha, I can send it to you. It's called Sneak Peek, but I'll just send you the link. I will send, it's a Facebook group if you have Facebook. We called it the Sneak Peek, but Sneak Peek Info Group because we had a new program launching, but we're using it for the space for this free vision board group, and we're dropping recipes in there and workouts and all sorts of stuff. So it's not just that info group. As far as like, if you're looking at this vision board and it says, what are your business and goals and achievement? The examples are just about anything. So 2-star diamond coach is a rank. Average income is just an idea of any kind of job that you might have. Or maybe you're a photographer and you want 5 new clients per week. These are just examples. These are not anything specific. It's really going to be dependent on where you are currently and where you want to grow to. We don't have an Instagram group at this time, unless Christy
wants to create one real quick now.
No, did you invite Abigail?
Oh, I did, Abigail. It's on Facebook. So I think I sent you all of those links today.
She said she doesn't have Facebook and she was curious about the Instagram group.
No, we do not, but I can definitely send over some of that information to you. So I'd be happy to send it to you through the Instagram link. So
yeah.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to upload, even if we created an Instagram group, we wouldn't be able to upload files and stuff in there. So unfortunately.
We just need to create our own platform.
I know. The Christy and Tanya platform. Where you can get all positivity 24 hours a day.
Oh, goodness.
Just
well, does anybody have any other questions? Because I know we want to be cognizant of your time, and I know it's been an hour, and so I really want to be mindful of that. I know we have some East Coasters on here. Shout out to, I see Carly on the call, some other East Coasters. So I just want to make sure we're mindful of that. Abigail,
yes.
We don't want to keep you guys up past your bedtimes, because part of healthy life is getting good rest. Any other questions or anything? I can't see the whole gallery, so if you have a question, feel free to put it in the, oh, I see the chat kind of lighting up. Oh, no, those are from before.
There's everyone. Thank you guys so much. Oh, I feel like we should do like a quick little, hey, our vision board party. Do y'all want to do a wave, or is that too much for everybody?
I can wave.
I gotta get my thing pulled up real quick. I was messaging Jessica. Jessica, let me know if you got my message. Now Courtney's like, God, Christy, you're always wanting to do a boomerang. We do Bible study together on Wednesday nights, and I'm always like, let's do a quick little wave. Sorry.
We're geeks. I think I see Victoria hanging out in the background, dancing a little bit.
I know. All right, ladies. 1, 2, 3. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. We had so much fun and we can't wait to see all your goals and what you make happen in 2021.
Yeah, I would love to hear what they are. So feel free to DM me your goals or mention them in that group.